What's going on, guys? So we're jumping on the bike right now to head out to the post office. So I think I'm going to take the RSF because it's my go-to right now. So, and that's one of my favorites. So I want to get some testing on. All right, guys, I was literally just like heading out with the packages, but we got one more order. So I printed it out and we'll throw theirs in. Sometimes people get lucky with super fast shipping like that. So shout out to Merck, Eric, and Anthony for the orders in the backpack today. We'll grab that Vivor throttle, EMF surround throttle. That one's ready to go in the bag as well. All right, guys, we are on the bike. We're out here again, another beautiful day. So today's conversation, I think, on this little moto vlog to the post office is gonna be electric versus gas, and the big topic, of course. So I obviously have rode bikes for a long time before there was electric bikes out readily available and you know, as much as they are today. So I've grown up on different gas dirt bikes, had a handful, CR80, 1981. Yeah, we've had a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna use this as an opportunity with a perk of electric. And now I know on gas, you guys, we can just pass cars sometimes, but rush hour, everything's really clogged up. We're able to just kind of take sidewalk trails a lot more, and I might be generalizing more towards e-bikes or e-motos where we're on the variance of if we're allowed on those trails or not. But you know, sometimes let's go with this move, guys. So I don't know, I don't recommend doing what I'm doing, but I can kind of just skirt around wherever I want sometimes. But it is an advantage to be able to jump on these back ways. Obviously we can't have the range of a full-size motorcycle. So this topic is not, I'm not arguing against crotch rockets. I'm not talking about you know, Harleys. We're not, obviously those have their perks over electric. Now this is more for around town. You know, depending on where you live, you might have some sidewalks or trails around that you're not utilizing and have no idea you're not. I didn't until I started getting into these electric bikes and building these about 5 years ago. So since then, my Honda 450R, I actually haven't really got out as much, where I used to trail ride in the mountains a lot more. We have a KTM 690. I supermotoed. I like getting that out every now and again. That bike can't be replaced with my electric bikes as much. For me, possibly it could be, because I don't really take it that far. But you know, the 450, personally, I haven't really got it out since I started building these electric bikes. The Moto B1 has been a great time off-road, taking it on some little single track trails around town when there's not as many people out early or late, while the sun's kind of going up or down. Sneak out there. So just has its different advantages in those ways. If you're a town kid, you might get away with riding it around your neighborhood more. I had my neighbor that's a state trooper the other day. I told him, hopefully I'm not making you mad practicing wheelies, because I always practice wheelies out front of my house. So he said, you know, it seems like these ones are quiet. I have no problem with it now, because I just sold my Honda Grom, and I would practice out front with that, and it would be noisy. What's up, man? But so yeah, like that, you know, it's just kind of like we got our own special place out here for electric. They have their time and their place. Each bike has a setting. Even the pedal assist bikes, I think, are a great time. It's a good way to get out, see a lot more of your town, a lot more of your surroundings, get out with some more people who have electric bikes or e-motos, and, you know, get out into that community where it's a lot of good people having a good time, and you're not on the road dealing with cars as much, which kind of puts you in a safer place. Don't get me wrong, you're on two wheels, these things are dangerous. You can get into accidents, things happen, but all in all, this is an easier way to get your foot in the door if you've always wanted to be on a motorcycle and you've kind of been intimidated by the clutch or the gears or a foot brake. Really all our controls are up here for the sense of a brake, usually a front brake, which I don't have. We even have regen braking right here with some custom wiring we've done. And there's a lot of tunability that we can just change whatever settings we want. So if I'm wanting it to not be as powerful, we can totally tune that and have the capability of getting in our app and tuning down higher, lower. So that brings me to the topic of DIY electric field or buying turnkey e-motos or electric bikes. I think both have their great perks and pros and cons, like anything. So my thoughts is a lot of the DIY scene, you're going to get into something cheaper, but you're going to need to get some education, which is where my YouTube and my company help with. We try to really make everything easy and help you guys out. I'm always there answering questions. So really, you know, it's not that hard. You have a motor, a controller, a battery, and a throttle. For the most part, that's it. You know, we have these extras, you see all this fun gadgets and stuff, but really those are your main components. And then a lot of times you're going to need to pair the motor to a controller. An electric motor is never really going to be the same, so that controller needs to know how the placement of the Hall sensors inside that motor and stuff work, basically. So you're always gonna have to do a pairing. Each controller has a different sequence on that, but we have a lot of videos too going through that, and there's a lot of other people out there. EMX Brandon has some great stuff. Turbo Moose, some other good guys out there. Voltron Watts, I believe. Jordan Davis. So anyway, a lot of good stuff. You're gonna have to take some time, educate yourself, but it's well worth it in the end because you're gonna get more out of your moto. You're just essentially going to have more understanding. If you have an issue or a code, you'll know what to do and how to get into those settings. But for the most part, you know, and say I wanted a little more throttle there, I have the capabilities in my settings to play with that. Some motos are starting to come out and realize we want that. So we're starting to see more of that moving forward, which is cool. So right here, guys, just because it's so busy, I'm gonna jump out in traffic. Again, I never recommend to really get in traffic. We are not legal to be on the road whatsoever. There's no VIN number on these, so we can't even get ourselves into it. So it's just one of those things that will, I'm just kind of doing my thing through my town, but hopefully they're not mad about it. So obviously we're at more risk playing on the road like this. Like I say, I've rode motorcycles for years, so just a little bit more of my game. But yeah, you know, the quietness is a huge plus. I can hear a lot more. I'm not dealing with loud braps, which we all love. Don't get me wrong, I love my brappy bikes, but it is nice having it tamed down a little more, being able to hear more, talking with your friends and not yelling at each other, having to have headset things. So another perk, I'm not saying it's annoying to hear loud gas bikes, but a lot of people are annoyed with it. I don't understand it because I love it, right? But yeah, I don't know why. A lot of people don't like loud electric gas bikes, but for some reason the little electric bikes, I get a lot of smile and waves out of people where I would have gotten called in if I was on a small gas pit bike. Don't know why, you know, people are weird, but it's definitely noticeable. They just really don't like the idea of us getting to do whatever we want. All right, so always turn your bike off when you leave it out and about, because you can accidentally grab some throttle and whiskey throttle that bike when you come back on accident. We got you. So again, let's call it a small weird con of that we don't know if this bike's on or off right now. So if I forgot to turn it off and I came and just grabbed onto it, it could throw into something, someone. So I always tell everyone, just get in a really good habit of turning the bike off. We're gas. We hear it running, we know it's running. But on electric, you don't really know for sure, and it happens to all of us really easy. You grab a little bit of throttle on accident, and then we had it happen last night actually in a weird scenario. So I am working on some things to have some safety features for that, guys, in the works with EMF, but for our DIY scene, that is. But that's the reason there's a kill switch, kickstand switch on bikes. It's a good thing. But yeah, it's cool just being able to buzz around. I don't know why the gas bike, and everyone knows where you are, right? Right now, if someone did kind of call me in or was upset with me, they can't follow me around and track me down. So, like I said, it's cool to have different modes. You guys haven't really even seen 3-speed on this yet. This bike will do 60 miles an hour. She's pretty snappy. Probably will actually screech the tires just cranking it. So you kind of see that thing's got some torque. Yeah, just pretty impressive what some of these bikes will put out. The momentary regen braking is a cool feature to save some brake pads. I'm just using my motor essentially backwards to basically, oh, actually I remember a shortcut. Let's take a shortcut. This is a good moment for a shortcut. Talking about some weird scenarios. Whoa, that was bouncy for you guys. All right, this is a spot to always be careful. If you got lights, turn them on so you're more visible. But, you know, someone could pull out, be in a hurry, you never know. But, so this is a weird thing I'm gonna do. How's it going, man? Good, thanks. Weird shortcut I like to do here. And obviously that guy would not have been cool with what I just did on a gas bike. It would have been noisy and annoying and felt more wrong. So here we are again, buzzing around. If we were on a pedal bike or whatever, we can do that. And so like we have settings too where the momentary regen we could have always. So it was doing that when I let off. I am in charge of how much that's slowing me down and bogging me down in my settings. So just full control of so much, guys. It's unexplainable how much control I have over these bikes. You know, you guys can see that's the amp bar. That's showing how much amps we're pulling. If you're wondering, when you guys see me crack on that. So there it went all the way up. We were pulling well over 100 amps, I would guess. 130 or so, I think I'm set at right now. So this is, you know, it's a lot of power. These things have a lot of power. They're no joke. You got to respect the heck out of them. I know a lot of people think, oh, it's just a kid's toy. And, you know, it's... What's up, man? It's pretty powerful for the weight that it has, but so yeah, another thing is obviously the maintenance is less. The obvious things I'm not touching as much base on. You know, we have less maintenance, which if you guys know, I have a garage full of these. If I had 10 gas pit bikes, it would just be a lot of work to keep up on, like changing the oil on all those and keeping track of it. And so this is, you know, I just have to make sure they're charged. I have a whiteboard. I have green marks on if they're full, kind of help me keep track, and they do tell us on the displays. A lot of these batteries from EMF or some of the other companies that have quality batteries, you can connect to your battery and it'll fully tell you your voltage and everything. So, you know, just another cool feature that we can see so much if there is things wrong, and it's not mechanical usually as much as getting into some settings and figuring out what was wrong. So yeah, beautiful day out here, man. I can't complain about running to the post office for you guys. And the throttle response on the far driver, I am starting to like more and more. So there so many routes to go nowadays with controllers, motors, batteries is pretty much a merge you're gonna see is in the DIY scene, and then in the Teleria and Suron world, you're gonna see those Greenway batteries that everyone's been realizing more after the Scud fire with Teleria's incident. But you know, that's something we've been educated about a long time. I've done a lot of videos just trying to educate people on batteries too, and they're nothing to play with. There's some serious stuff if you're dealing with high power lithium batteries. This battery particular will put out about the same amount of power or more than when your full house would be basically drawing everything that can come into an average household home in amps terms. So like when you picture your microwave runs and something else runs and you trip a breaker or something, a lot of those breakers are like 50 amp breakers or 30 amp breakers or something. This bike's putting out 200 amps if it wants to, if I tune it to. So again, just a lot of power to respect, but we can work those amps up. Another misconception I'm hearing a lot is if your battery's rated for 120 amp continuous output and you get a controller that takes 33 amps, referring to like a Vivor, that doesn't mean your battery is going to dump all those amps into your controller and fry it. The controller is going to pull the amps at once from the battery. You're going to get those amps pulled out from your battery, and the BMS is in charge of saying if the controller is trying to pull too much, and the BMS will say no, we're not capable of doing that. And the BMS is the battery monitoring system that is inside your BMS or inside your battery. You guys can't actually really see that. They're built in and connected to each individual cell pack. So anyway, there's your power is getting pulled from the controller out of there and then getting turned into phase amps and then going to your motor. So between your battery and your controller is your line amps or your battery amps. And then from your controller to your motor is where you're seeing the phase amps, where the controller's cranking up that power to more power and throwing it at that motor to give us that power. So once you start to understand these things, it sounds a little intimidating, but it's really not. And you can see all these poor people up here still dealing with traffic, and we'll just kind of buzz through them. Damn, that's messed up. Super dangerous. I'm watching these guys really close. All right, so we'll click her into 3 and let her eat now. It's a good place to get hit. I know you guys can't tell, but that's a pretty steep hill right there to just crank up. And then we can use our regen to slow down. We can see like 10 amps coming back in. It's not really going to give you any power when I say regenerative braking. I'm really not like charging my battery much doing that. You know, it's more of just a nice way to slow down without it. I talk about on gravel where I can use it and not lock my tires up on these slicks, where usually I skid my tire real easy. So another nice feature that we have there, but yeah, I mean, electric has its capabilities, I will tell you. And those swerves down up here. Yee-hoo! Oh, it's something fun about just swerving back and forth like that. So, all right, guys, I think that's pretty much going to conclude this little battle on electric and gas. I just wanted to talk about a few of those things and just bring it to some people's attention. I'm a dirt bike lover. I thought electric was dumb, but you know, through the years, we slowly got more into them and realized they are super fun in the right ways. So it's just one of those things that's you gotta kind of know what you're after, what you're wanting out of it, what you're gonna be happy with. Whoops. And then yeah. So, all right, guys. We'll catch you guys all later. Peace.